So far on Turnabout substitution, it's painfully obvious that Treya Woods is the real killer here. So, let's get on to the finale. Court is back in session for the trial of Robert Erlenmeyer. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? I guess Treya is hiding that persona under her skin, like that lizard that just jumped out at Apollo. I was born ready. But are you ready now? Oh, yeah.
Your Honor? But before the defense starts harshly attacking me, I'd like to make a special request.
What is it, Miss Woods?
Trial has unquestionably shown what I believe is fundamental flaw in our new legal system. Of course, I'm talking about the unquestionable bias for the defense.
What? She can't be serious.
Our position was less disadvantageous in the Middle Ages. As you would obviously know, Your Honor, criminal law in the past few years has been based on the following principle. One who has been arrested by the police on solid grounds is most likely guilty. Seems like a good way for prosecutors to be able to do their job, but it has been some undesired side effects. For instance, the only way for a defense attorney to get an acquittal is to accuse someone else of the crime. Therefore, defense attorneys like this now disbarred Phoenix Wright and the man to my right have shamelessly and unexpectedly accused witnesses. They are pressured until they finally crack and admit to the crime they didn't commit.
We had proof for that, you know?
Shut up! Defense attorneys have access to all sorts of documents and information, and have plenty of time to devise arguments and find evidence to distort the truth. On the other hand, witnesses have no extra information and are expected to quickly refute the defense's arguments on the spot, lest they be declared guilty. Especially now that we have jurists who can easily be swayed by professional liars like Apollo.
What exactly are you proposing, Miss Woods?
I propose we make the game even. Just as witnesses only have a limited time to respond to the defense's arguments, the defense should only have a limited time to present said arguments.
Well, I guess it shouldn't affect the game, right?
It's only logical.
What?
Why are you so concerned, Polly? You just had half an hour to prepare your arguments. You shouldn't need extra time to get it together.
She was planning this the entire time. I fell into her trap completely. Again! This isn't standard procedure. It has to be illegal. I'm afraid it's not, Mr. Justice. In anticipation for my first trial, I perused the new laws of the jury system, and nowhere in Miss Swift's idea is expressly prohibited whether it is a good idea or not. Besides, there are many precedents of judges experimenting with procedure. What? Why do I have to get the only judge that actually knows the law?
Isn't the motto of judicial reform in the 21st century flexible of methods, inflexible of results?
If this is what they call justice, I better change my name back to Grammar-E. And, oh well.
Just think, Your Honor. If this works, you'll get all the credit. Other judges will follow in your footsteps. You'll W a genius for devising the system only to your second trial.
True, but I'm not sure this would go through. Perhaps it would get caught on something human, like stupid rights, or I mean something stupid like human rights. What's going on here? It's like Rhea is infecting everyone with her insanity.
And of all people you know who would respect you the most for this, don't you? Your father. And of course.
Very well. Your request is perfectly reasonable and shall be implemented. For the remainder of this trial. Objection! Don't listen to her. Aren't you the one who said earlier that when dealing with men's lives, the ends don't justify the means? Be quiet, Mr. Justice. I have my new crush over here that I shall go on a date with. But shut up! I've had enough of you questioning my judgment, especially when you aren't experienced yourself.
Honestly, Apollo, you need to learn some respect.
That's right. I've been very indulgent with you, and given you the benefit of the doubt many times. You're making extremely grave accusations, and will thus be held accountable in exchange. You will now have a limited time to present proof to substantiate the claims you are making against Mrs. Wicks. Alright. Rhea, you may have changed the rules of the game, but you still won't win. Okay, right now the only person I can rely on is myself. But it's okay, because I have the evidence on my side. I just need to stay calm, think logically, and trust my intuition.
This is your last chance to save yourself from a humiliating defeat, Apollo. What are you doing, Mr. Justice?
I'm blowing my nose!
Are you all done now?
Yeah, I'm all done.
Are you sure you want to go through this with us then, even though it's obvious you're going to lose?
Of course. Even if I'm the only person in this room who hasn't fallen for your tricks, I still won't let you win. Very well. You may now present your arguments, Mr. Justice. Okay, I need to be careful about that number in the upper left corner now. Non-existent. Alright, I don't have to be careful about it anymore. Alright. Here comes justice. On the night of December 27th, he snuck out of my office and came to this place. I can't save here, or... Wait, the keyboard might be acting up again. Hold on. No, the keyboard's working just fine, Oh gosh, On the night of December 27th, he snuck out of my office and came to this place. Here. Take that!
I'll put it bluntly, there's no way I would have gone there.
Yes, you would have, Rhea! Yes, I must agree. Now get your story together, Mr. Justice. Here. Take that!
How would I go there? If Judge went there by chance and Erlenmeyer wasn't actually planning to murder anyone.
Oh, good point. Well, that seems like the obvious answer. It certainly isn't the correct one. Now get your story together, Mr. Justice. Then where'd she actually go? Could it be she went... That's a very strange timer there. How about... Larry Butts High School? Take that! You went to Larry Butts High School! Specifically, this biology classroom. You went there to murder not Judge Chambers, but Robert Erlenmeyer.
Ha! Your first argument and your story has already fallen apart. How could I possibly know Robert Erlenmeyer would be there in the middle of the night? Even the police had no idea.
You knew. You knew because of something you witnessed on this day. That would probably be Erlenmeyer's first trial day 1. Miss Poole told me all about Erlenmeyer's first trial, where he testified, Rhea, and I specifically remember that comment that Erlenmeyer made. I'm sorry, I've been a bad boy, but there is no need to send me away. I'll punish myself. I promise. I'll pay for anything. Miss, as soon as I'm out of here. Mice, they can be your friends, and your enemies, just the same. You should worry about me. You should worry about them. They get lonely in their cages, you know. I'll punish myself as soon as I get out of here. Meaning, as soon as he got out of prison, he'd visit his mice in his biology classroom. Everyone thought it was Erlenmeyer's usual nonsense, but you understood what it meant, Rhea. So when Erlenmeyer was busted out of Clooney Asylum, while the authorities were dumbfounded, you knew exactly where he was. That reference to his mice might make sense, but what about punishing himself? No blood, no instruments of torture. This contradicts year 3, and his remark reflected what he would do after his escape. Actually, I do have evidence that he punished himself. And that would be... Yeah, that... Oh, dang it. Take that! I brought up these mice earlier in the trial. I believe I already mentioned that they were infected with a rare virus. Specifically, the MLJ5 virus. I learned this when Detective Sky and I investigated the classroom and found these strangely colored mice. Obviously, the mice couldn't have been infected long before the night of the murder, or a teacher would have noticed. Erlenmeyer must have injected the mice with the virus himself, then played with them so that he would be infected. After all, the MLJ5 virus is able to be transferred to human beings. Obviously, if I could figure this out, you could too, Rhea. Wearing gloves, you drove to Larry Butt's high school. You entered the classroom, knocked Erlenmeyer out, and then set up the mysterious bus crime scene. You then put Erlenmeyer in the trunk of your car and drove to the Forest Bone Cemetery.
Just why would I go there?
To dispose of the body, of course.
How exactly would going to Forest Bone Cemetery help me get rid of the body? If I really wanted to get rid of it, I would have just dumped it in a river or something.
There was something at the cemetery that's what you get rid of the body. Something like this! I need to pick out the spot at the scene of the crime that shows them what I mean. One of these, right? Take that! It really doesn't take much thought. We're better to hide a body than in someone else's grave. Rhea, you made a big deal about how you were a funeral director earlier. You must be very familiar with the layout of the cemetery and know about burying bodies.
Oh, I'm a businesswoman, not a grave digger. My job is arranging funerals so families can help cope with the grief of losing a loved one.
But you had a side job of causing grief. It wouldn't be good for you if the bodies were found. Everyone always wondered where victims of the mysterious bus murders went. I bet if we investigated Forest Bone Cemetery, we'd find 12 previously missing bodies, the victims of the serial killings.
You can't just exhume a bunch of bodies like that. Those people's relatives would be devastated.
With a court order, it's very possible, especially with sufficient evidence, which I'm sure I'll have soon.
You can't...
Moving on. You arrived at the cemetery and took Erlenmeyer out of the trunk. However, you noticed another car and ran into none other than Judge Chambers, paying homage to his brothers. I don't know what exactly went through your mind, but I'm sure one thing was clear. He had seen too much. You fought him with your bare hands, albeit with gloves on. During the struggle, 2 pieces of gum fell out of your pocket. Although you didn't notice them, and they were soon covered by the snow. You were finally able to knock him unconscious, but set off the alarm in the process. However, you had an idea. You stole Chambers' keys, then ran him over with his own car. You then planted Erlenmeyer's fingerprints on the steering wheel and keys, and left him in a pool of Chambers' blood. Unfortunately, you didn't remember to plant the fingerprints on Chambers' robe. You were used to having everything in control and planned out to the meticulous details of your crimes in advance. But once something unexpected happened, you had to think on your feet. And failed miserably! And that, Your Honor, is the sole truth of this case. I guarantee you won't find any contradictions, Rhea.
Contradictions? Perhaps not. But implausible assertions and leaks of logic, I could fill a book with them.
Give me an example.
I for one. I've already given up on your integrity, so I won't comment on how despicable and ludicrous your accusation that I am the mysterious bus killer is. But let's just say for a hot minute that I was a serial killer. Isn't the one person that wouldn't be a victim be Erlenmeyer, the man incarcerated in my place? Killing him would be quite foolish, don't you think?
Don't waste your breath, Rhea. We both know it was brilliant. Yes, it would be stupid if you left the bodies of your victims as they were, but you hid them. While Erlenmeyer was in prison, there's no way you could murder anyone, or else the authorities would see Erlenmeyer was not the killer. But if Erlenmeyer escaped and was secretly killed, you could murder all the people you wanted, and the police would always be searching for a man they would never catch. It would have been the perfect crime, if not for Chambers' mix-up.
Wow, you're right! I never even thought of that! I never knew you had such a corrupt criminal mind, Apollo. Anyway, that was just my epigraph. And your epitaph. Have you forgotten that one of the victims of the murders was, my own brother? You've seen me talk about him. Did it seem like his death made me happy?
Crocodile tears, Rhea.
Yeah. insensitive, wicked, thoughtless. Mimi!
Oh gosh. Well, here we are, folks. We've reached the pinnacle of name calling. Mimi. Yep.
Are you really suggesting that I not only didn't love my brother, but also murdered him?
I doubt you even know what love means. But even if you did, that love has no meaning to you. After all, you had a very good reason to kill Nathan Woods. What is the reason? I don't know. I don't know. Now, try the photo first.
Take that! Shut up already, Apollo. This is going too far. I loved Nathan, and now you're saying I killed him?
Neil should look. Not English, Mr. Justice. But I'm talking about Rhea. Anyways, let's try that again. Dang. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o.
I don't see anything of the sort here.
Neither do I. And that's the story, folks. How Apollo Justice died. Yeah, that's one time. That is one time the glitch actually, some glitches actually screwed me over. Yeah, on the upside, it auto-saved right before that one question. You know, let's present the case files. Take that!
Are you just gonna wave that around every time you're in a corner? What page is this alleged person on?
Wait a second, what? Huh. This actually lets me skip all the way here. So it's not case summary. Victim data.
I don't see anything of the sort here.
Neither do I. Are you sure it's here, Mr. Justice? Yes, I guess it's on a different page. It's on this one. It's right here. And the trial data. It plainly says here that you were a witness in Erlenmeyer's trial, but you weren't a witness because Nathan was killed. It's the opposite. Nathan was killed so that you could be a witness. Ah. Oh, alright. I'm kind of ashamed that I didn't figure that one out earlier. With your brother as a victim, no one would find it suspicious once he got involved in the case. He gets so confidential, inside information that would put you one step ahead of the authorities. Most of all, he could use his position to lead the police against a scapegoat, testifying against Erlenmeyer, befriending Judge. You did it for your own benefit. Of course, this is also the reason why you became my assistant. You joined me to make sure the truth came out, when you found out Judge had supposedly killed Erlenmeyer, since you thought it wasn't the whole story.
Fine, but this is only the beginning.
I haven't faltered yet, and I won't falter anytime soon.
Let's talk about the killer's modus operandi. The Charles Darwin signature. Erlenmeyer was a biology teacher. A sheet of music, Erlenmeyer could sing the melody even when he couldn't form a coherent sentence. A naked photographs. His mental conditions must have made him sexually frustrated. All those things fit in with Erlenmeyer's psychological profile, but have absolutely no connection to me.
Yeah, but what about the other aspects of the modus operandi you conveniently left out? One in particular caught my attention, especially because I have evidence linking you to it. Of course! I'm talking about this! That would be... what exactly? Alright, what's the usual modus operandi? In the victim's bedrooms, fake photos of victims and naked were scattered around the room, forming a bust when viewed from a... viewed up... Oh! Oh!
Present this! Ha! That doesn't relate to me in the...
What, really? I don't see the connection either. Do you really have this evidence? Yes, Your Honor. Of course, I'm talking about this! It's like I presented the right evidence that proves that Rhea didn't know where Erlenmeyer's bedroom was, right? Oh, I decided... Wait, what? So, the back button was an automatic way out? What? Man, I just had to present the back button. Alright. Okay, so... I want to do this the legit way, so... Alright, so... Present this. Take that! Naked photographs of the victim were, of course, fake. Just like this picture of your brother that you showed me. How many people involved in the HT5 case have the technical ability to make these kind of fakes? Well, there's me, of course. But did you leave something at the crime scene and know several details you shouldn't have? No, but you still do make strange leaps of logic, and the case against Erlenmeyer is still much more sound.
I couldn't have said it better than myself.
He's right, Antennas.
I'm still not finished. We still have the climax of my book, the best part. There's a critical flaw in your premise, which completely destroys your entire argument.
Come again? Really? Please tell the court this flaw at once.
Of course, Your Honor. Are you ready, Apollo? Here it is. The coup de grace. Why did Erlenmeyer confess to being the mysterious bus killer if I am actually the criminal?
That's it?
Quality, not quantity, Apollo.
But we've already been through this.
Yes, it's been mentioned, but you have sidestepped this issue every time. Erlenmeyer spontaneously confessed. No one pressured or tortured him to do it. If he had no reason to lie, it is only logical that he was not lying. He can't dispute this.
We'll see about that. Let's start the cross-examination. Actually, it's my job to say that. Quiet, you!
Then hurry up and say it.
Oh yes, you may begin the cross-examination, Mr. Justice. Alright. The one that will end it all. What exactly? Could it be the psychological profile? Or could it be the cat? Let's say the psychological profile. Objection! And the psychological
Page, sentence, where exactly in that wall of text does it shed any light on why Erlenmeyer would admit to being a serial killer?
I need to point to the sentence that shows why Erlenmeyer admitted to the crimes. Alright. Gonna need to check this first. So it might be psychosis where he repeats words. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely it. Okay, page 4E, this sentence right here. Which page should I look at? Page 4! So it's not that. Come on, Apollo. Reason Erlenmeyer confessed must be in here somewhere. Which page should I look at? 4E! Boom! The psychological profile is the key to understanding Erlenmeyer's insanity. And with it, the whole case. As the court can read in the psychological profile, when Erlenmeyer was 8 years old, his cat Charles was run over by a black car. When Erlenmeyer witnessed his parents burying Charles, he believed he was the killer, even though he had done absolutely nothing. Now, what if something happened that caused Erlenmeyer to remember this trauma? And what if this something led him to believe that he was a mysterious bus killer, just as he thought he killed Charles?
What do you mean?
I believe history has repeated itself. Erlenmeyer is driving during the night, and gets into an accident, like the one that killed Charles. After that, he comes upon Rhea burying a victim, just as he witnessed his parents burying his cat. The impression was just too strong for Erlenmeyer. In his mind, everything was connected, and he was the one responsible. He lost his sanity and was convinced that he had killed the person being buried. Normally, Rhea would have witnessed like that, just as she did with Judge. But this time, something unusual happened. I'm sorry. I knew I shouldn't have killed him. I've been a very bad boy. I promise. I'm telling everything to the police, Mommy. Ray understood what he meant. Insane minds think alike. He fed his fantasy, and told him details of the murder only the killer would know. Rowenmeyer then turned himself into the police. And I think we all know the rest. And that, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is how Rhea Witz, the woman you see now, murdered a dozen people, tricked Robert Rowenmeyer into believing he was a mysterious bus killer, and then killed Judge Chambers to protect her secret. The defense rests its case.
You're resting your case, Apollo? At that?
What do you mean?
A fascinating narrative you of, Apollo. Sure, there are no contradictions, but there's still your leaps of logic and crazy assertions. You can only psychoanalyze and divert us from the truth so much. How can we truly understand the human mind? And do you have reports of this alleged incident Rowenmeyer got into before meeting me? Everything you have is circumstantial. You still lack the most important part. Decisive evidence. You've rested your case, meaning you've shown us everything you have, but none of it was decisive. I admit, I may look suspicious, but you can twist it around onto almost anyone. How about Detective Marshall? How did he suddenly come back? How did he know so much? Where did those 2 drops of whiskey at the crime scene come from? You're a crook, Apollo! You know that? Accusing me when you've known from the start that you don't have decisive evidence. I'm sure the press is going to love hearing about this. Desperate defender accuses innocent woman of serial killing. Even if you're not disbarred, you're like your rotten mentor. I doubt you'll get as many cases for a while.
I wouldn't go so far to say that, little lady. If I do have decisive evidence, I can turn this all around for sure. But I better figure it out quickly. Oh, the time limit's back. Yay. You know, how about decisive evidence? Your Honor, I have decisive evidence against Rhea Witz.
What? Stop it, Apollo! You all know you're bluffing.
Am I? I don't know. Present your evidence and we'll find out. Alright. Here goes justice! And about everything else. Should be able to just... No. Should be able to just present to the psychological report, right? Or something like that. Right? Yeah, we want to know for sure. My decisive evidence is... I need to English better.
See? I knew you were bluffing.
Yes, that evidence proves nothing. I believe it timely turn this case over to the jury. Oh, there's no decisive evidence. Well, can't say I saw that coming. Man, really should have known it was no decisive evidence. It's like I stared up to that second option for a long time, but... didn't cross my mind. No decisive evidence. No, she's right. I don't have decisive evidence.
You lose, Apollo. I suppose it's a good thing,
Not so fast, Rhea! Your mentor would be disappointed in you, Lady Justice. Mr. Wright? Have you really forgotten everything he's done? Of course! Rhea, you may have been careful enough to be safe in Rowenmeyer's first trial, but times have changed.
What are you talking about?
The jury system, of course. I don't specifically need circumstantial or decisive evidence, just evidence that sways the jurist.
No matter. I'm sure people as intelligent as them won't be fooled by your lies.
Well, I'm sure they won't be fooled by yours. enough of this pointless bickering. If both the prosecution and the defense have rested their respective cases, I believe it's time to turn this case over to the jury. The jury has finished deliberating. This is it. A moment of truth. The number of jurors who voted guilty is 3. Wait, if 3 jurors voted guilty, then 3 jurors voted for not guilty. 3-3. Interesting. A draw! What happens in a draw? A 3-3 draw results in a guilty verdict! What?! The jury has made its decision. The court finds the defendant Robert Erlenmeyer. Hold it! Oh, and from a sky? I think I'll try this place.
You can't render that verdict yet, Your Honor.
Wow, I was actually surprised I did that voice. Emma, where you been?
Investigating Mrs. Wicks. I've had a bad feeling about her this entire time. I searched her office and found 3 pieces of evidence. Not so fast! The jury has already reached a decision.
Technically, if new evidence is presented before the verdict is officially handed down, they're allowed to change their vote.
There's still a problem. That evidence is illegal and thus should not give the jurors a chance to revote. Actually, Miss Wicks, I have a search warrant right here signed by Paul Strings.
What?
He is technically... he's still the Chief Justice.
Very well. Let's see this evidence.
Alright, the first piece of evidence is this bracelet.
Yes, my sweet bracelet! I can finally use it in court again! So she's the one who stole it.
The second piece of evidence is a strong sleeping drug.
Sleeping drug added to the court record.
Finally, I have a computer with information on Arthur Chambers.
Computer file added to the court record. I must say, this evidence sure makes you suspicious, little lady. True, but none of it is decisive evidence or directly ties Miss Wicks to the crime. None of the jurists have opted to change his or her vote. I will now proceed to OBJECTION! While none of this may seem like decisive evidence, I believe I can use it to show that Miss Wicks is a criminal.
Just try.
Very well. This will be your last chance. Alright. I need to think carefully about which evidence to present, and how it ties with the crime. I'll only need to convince one juror in order to end this trial. So, Mr. Justice, which of these pieces of evidence is so critical? Oh, they're still... oh. Yeah, of course. Let's check out these evidence. Let's see, Reyes stole it. The strong sleeping drug found in Reyes' office. Yeah, that actually seems like decisive evidence. There's really no other evidence here. It's a drug. It's these drugs! You use these drugs on Erlenmeyer at the biology classroom in Larry Butt's high school. When he met Erlenmeyer, he used these drugs to make him unconscious so he could easily transfer and kill him.
Oh, come on, Paul. Now you're contradicting yourself.
Eh?
Remember what you were saying about the MLJ5 virus he was infected with? The convulsions it caused prevented him from absorbing the drug.
I see, so that shouldn't have been the case. Oh, Rhea knows too much. This court does not take bluffing too kindly, Mr. Justice.
Honestly, I should get arrested as a murderer just because I have a sleep disorder.
Wait, Your Honor! What is it now? What Rhea said just now is a giant contradiction.
What?
You've just undone yourself. This is it. The break I've been waiting for. What you've just said, coupled with this piece of evidence, exposes you as a killer. Eh? Gotta find the one that has present on it then. Right? Right? Yes, I did it!
Woo!
There's a present button, and there's a no, that's subflorific. And there's a tranquilizer. Moment of truth. Take that! I'm sorry, but I still see no connection between the case that what Miss Woods just said and that evidence.
Oh well, better luck next time, eh?
None of the jurors have been convinced either. Their vote stands. Oh, no! Now then, I'll render the verdict. This court defines the defendant Robert Rowenmeyer guilty. An actual game over. Well, better luck next time, Apollo. Quiet, you. So yeah, this game is kind of lazy. It's like, I guess the story's good and all, but if I had to go into the code of this game 3 times in order to fix some problems, then we got a problem. No, nothing else to say about that. Let's try the MLJ5 virus. We were told certain effects that the MLJ5 virus had on animals, such as affecting pigments, and that it was contagious to humans. However, we never learned what its effects on humans were.
So what? I was a pretty good student in school, Apollo.
I don't think we were taught that in school.
What if I learned about the MLJ5 virus then?
It's not even the main problem. Let me summarize your testimony. I was walking along the street when I was suddenly knocked unconscious. When I woke up, I was in Forest Cemetery, where I witnessed Erlenmeyer fight and murder Judge Chambers. Now tell me, where in that testimony did Erlenmeyer infect himself with the virus? Yes, I mentioned that Erlenmeyer infected himself with a drug, in a scenario where you were the killer. By telling us that the virus caused convulsions, you just admitted that you met Erlenmeyer in that classroom on that night, even if it doesn't directly prove that you are the killer. It's still completely different from your previous testimonies. Oh gosh, here we go.
Not bad for a lower life form.
Oh gosh.
Or perhaps figments of my imagination telling me my life is over. Oh well, at least I'll die knowing I did something with my life. I'll die knowing my life had meaning, unlike everyone else in this courtroom.
What? You admit it? And I no way!
You are all so concerned with what I did with the past. With something that was dead and gone. With mundane details, who did it, where, when, how. You spend so much time on these questions, you're so concerned with them.
And I guess as Rhea speaking, the jury's sitting over there, all casting their vote for Rhea being the guilty party.
You stop thinking about yourself. Wanna know which was the most amusing part to me, Polly? When everyone kept trying to make sense of the crime. The photographer, the music sheet, the bust. It was all meaningless. I picked out some random words in the dictionary and voila! My crime scenes. So, how does it feel to know the truth?
I've been thinking about what you told me in the defense lobby, and I finally have an answer for you.
Oh really? I'd love to hear what sort of insane response you've devised.
You're completely wrong. What gives meaning to our lives is other lives. Those people you talked about, who are truly living, who aren't afraid of death, they aren't afraid of death, because they aren't truly living. They concern themselves with their own lives and try to find meaning in cheap, short-lived thrills. Do you know why regular Joe Schmo, as you put it, will beg for his life when threatened? Because he has friends and a family that he doesn't want to leave. Friends and family that he does not want to suffer grief and hardships. That's deep. Alright. Everything you said has been completely wrong, Rhea. The only person in this room whose life doesn't have meaning is yours. People have been prosecuting solely for Judge and Arthur. strings as a judge only because of his father. And my reason for staying in this world right here. But you, Rhea, you. I can't think of a better metaphor than this photograph. At first glance, it seems fine and normal, but on closer inspection, it's fake. You don't live for anyone, Rhea. Not even yourself. This is what your life is truly like, Rhea. He just shredded it up! Face it, you're shallow, empty, imaginary. You think you've lived your life to the fullest? You think you're the greatest human being, with the most meaningful life out of all of us? Yeah, at this point, if I was a judge, I would have called him out for badgering the witness. You're not. People won't care what you've done. I don't mean they won't mourn your death. I mean they'll care so little, they won't even celebrate your death. You think you'll live on in history as an exceptionally feared... I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing. Heh, even that won't happen. You're one of the most pathetic criminals I've ever seen. The only reason you got caught was your own fault. You cross-examined yourself to confession. Rhea, I gave you the shovel, and you kept on digging.
I see.
Oh, well, that's a new expression. In classic Ace Attorney fashion, you know? Yep. Wait, she literally dug a hole in the courtroom? Whenever I saw that earlier. Get that thing out of my courtroom this instant. Bailiff! I said this instant! The battle is won. Without me? Finally, it's over. I won! Yeah! Apollo just... Actually, I don't know what you do. Moving on. I don't think this will be a surprise, but several jurors have changed their vote. I don't think anyone will mind if I hand down the verdict now. You know, Rhea's breakdown just seems strange. Not guilt! You know? It's like... no one just... has this standard expression on their face, and then suddenly looks worried, and then digs a hole in the court. Oh my gosh. Most random breakdown I've ever seen. Probably gonna be an inside joke on my channel. December 29th, 5:43 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 4. This whole case is over for good. This feels so great. And courtroom number 4 has the hole in it. Mr. Justice, thank you for everything. For my acquittal, and hearing your arguments of what really happened, and why I'm not the killer. I feel like I'm starting to get better. Really? That's great news! And it's all thanks to you. So, how's my brother? He's currently in detention for bailing you out of prison. I see. We may not have been the best of brothers, but there's no way I'm turning my back on him now, like I did when I was younger.
Lady Justice!
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good.
I won't forgive you for this!
For what? I thought she didn't hate Mai anymore. Hey, Mai. Grammatical error, I guess. In private, at least.
The entire reason I've been prosecuting was to catch the mysterious bus killer. Now you went and caught her all by yourself while I had nothing to do with it. I was just sitting here pretty.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb with me.
No, I'm serious, Mrs. Poole. I couldn't have done it without you.
Empty words. I want proof, Antanas.
Evidence? Sure. The evidence that Poole helped us is... Oh, wait! She gave us this. And, okay. Let's try this.
Don't humor me, Mr. Justice.
What? I was being serious.
My only regret is already turning in my letter of resignation. Otherwise, I would stay to mop the floor with you.
That could have gone better. Maybe. But I'm sure she's happy on the inside that the mysterious bus killer was caught. Period. Salutations, Mr. Justice! Oh gosh, it's a short one. Hi, Your Honor. Court isn't in session anymore, Mr. Justice. Oh, sorry. No need to apologize. Congratulations, Mr. Erlenmeyer. Thank you. Besides, I won't be called Your Honor at all from now on. What? I was a horrible judge, I've realized. I've changed the rules for you in the middle of the trial and was completely biased. For the real killer, no less. And this was only my second trial. I cannot remain a judge. I must resign. I guess I'll see you in McDonald's. No, you may have gotten a little weird, but you were fine in the end. I appreciate it, but don't try to console me, Mr. Justice. I've been indecisive all my life. The sole reason I became a judge was because of my father. I never actually wanted it. This is the first decision I've made for myself, and I'm sticking to it. Alright. Good luck in, well, whatever you do from now on. Thank you. I truly hope we will meet again. It doesn't seem like anyone else is coming. Nope. Once again, thank you for everything. I suppose I'll need to go back to my cell in Cluny Prison's asylum now. What? Why? Even if you proved Areo was the real killer, I was only technically acquitted for the murder of Judge. But I'm sure I will have a retrial soon. Yeah, I'm sure you will. And then I can find the meaning in my life again. From Sean, from the kids I'll teach, and from you. Goodbye, Mr. Justice. I look forward to our next meeting. Goodbye, Robert. It's all over now. Rhea has been exposed to for the psychopath she is, and all the lives she's dragged down with her can finally continue from where they left off. She had no meaning in her life, and drained the meaning of others. And I was a savage punk. But that's all over now, and speaking of the meaning of my life, I've got a plane to Borginia to catch, or else Phoenix will kill me. Oh, we're actually seeing this. December 29th, 8:09 p.m., International Departures, Gate 12. Yes, I've got here, just in time. Attention passengers. Flight HTSL-56 to Borginia has been cancelled. We apologize for any inconvenience. It just sucks to be Apollo, doesn't it? What? This isn't good! Don't be so gullible. Seriously. What is that? Ah! Mr. Wright! Did you really forget my voice in such a short amount of time? Polly. Could you not call me that, please? Huh? What's wrong? Something happened with the case? It's a long story. It's a long plane ride. Like in English today. It was kind of a mess. I proved the lunatic was completely normal, got my girlfriend declared guilty of serial murder, and caused both the judge and prosecutor to resign. But you won, right? Well, yeah. And cheer up. But man, all that into it, and it was only your 5th case. In my 5th case, I only got rid of a prosecutor and a policeman. But it was a chief prosecutor and the chief of police. Oh, that was Apollo talking. Yeah, I was much better in my 5th case than you in yours. That's enough to it. Come on, Apollo. The flight is boarding, and I'm surprised you actually decided to go. Huh? I didn't think you had the funds to pay for it. Huh? Huh? I suppose I can give you a loan if you need, but I can't guarantee the interest will be that good. Huh? 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 You got something to say, Apollo? just one thing. Great, I've actually missed it a little. Let it rip. Okay, here comes justice. Objection! And that's the end of Turnabout Substitution. This game's kind of sucked. It's like, if the scripting was a bit better, then it would be decent. One of these many lessons that one learns in prison is, and will be what they are in. Critic sequences always seem to have the characters talking too fast for anyone to read. Unless you're an alien. Oh yeah, and what do you think of this new typewriter sound? Sounds like, I don't know, flipping through the thick pages of a book? Yeah, sounds like that. Oh, Joe Strings is a video game developer. Good job, man. Cool. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say about this game, other than the fact that I finally completed it after 2 years. That's a plus, and... Hey, can we get another shot of Rhea digging a hole in the courtroom? That would be great. The god of all totem poles. You throw me into this dump of a prison and then come back to talk to me? What kind of jerk are you? Although, considering what you did for Bobby, I suppose I can forgive you. Seriously, thanks for everything you did. That's the best fast-talking voice I could do. Nice, nice. As I can understand, making games is hard, and making them look good is pretty hard as well. Especially if you've got something like Microsoft Paint. Paint.net's cool though. Well, are we gonna... Oh, just copyright stuff. Oh, I need to... Okay. They gotta make sure that you see this. Oh? Oh hey, it's the epilogue. Wanted her to dig some more, not just stand here. Well, that was kind of an intimidating ending. Well, epilogue? Oh, the background music is still playing. That's cool, I guess. So, anyways, thanks for watching this series, guys, and I might do more Let's Plays in the near future. Might being the big word here. With this computer being shared between my brother and I, my brother being a very huge writer. Well, not a huge writer, just... Well, not yet, anyway. So, yeah, whenever he's gone, I get the chance to do all this. So anyways, thanks for watching, and have a nice day!
And that is all.